welcome back. So I wanted to start off today, guys, and for those of you that are interested or have been following along, we have a new Fox that's being welcomed into the family, and let me tell you, it's never been as close as it currently is. So the car got on a carrier in Texas, and it's now sitting in Washington, getting ready to cross the border and get its new Canadian citizenship. Super excited for this, guys. I've never seen the car in person. I've really taken a bit of a flyer. I mean, I've mentioned in my other videos, I've met some absolutely 10 out of 10 top shelf folks that I've bought this car off of, and I feel 1000% confident in the fact that this car is everything that they've told me it is and shown me that it is in the photos and videos. But I get to see it for the first time this week. So I'm going to take you guys along for the ride with me. We're going to go down, we're going to meet the carrier. Well, this is the second transport carrier that it's going to go on, but meet them and get the car, and I'm going to document it all. So we'll take you for that very first ride, so you get to see my reaction seeing this car for the first time. It's going to be good. But today's video is about antenna delete plates. Now, the quick background on the antenna delete plate is, about a year ago, I decided to get myself a 3D printer. Always wanted one, but shied away from it because I've never had one. I don't know anyone that does have one, and I know nothing or knew nothing about CAD, okay? So, I mean, you can use these printers, you can download things off the internet and print something that someone else has made, but I didn't want to do any farting around with that. I wanted to make my own stuff. So, I ultimately ventured down the road of teaching myself CAD, and I thought, well, I'll start off small, and something that's always been in my mind that I figured could be recreated for these Foxes was the '93 Cobra R antenna delete plate. I think the original design is I don't know, it's questionable. It's for an OCD person. It's got a raised lip around the outside edge. It's nothing but a dirt catch. I think it was just I don't know that there was a whole ton of engineering or thought that went into these things. It was just a blocker plate that blocked the antenna off, because as we all know, the '93 Cobra R's didn't have a radio, so why do they need an antenna, right? But they still utilize the same fenders, which ultimately come stamped with the hole for the antenna. Now, today's day and age, not too many people listen to terrestrial radio. I don't listen to it a whole ton. I mean, I like to pick what I listen to, whether it's satellite radio or something from my phone, stream it through Bluetooth, whatever. So I don't really have a use for an antenna anymore. And like I say, I also wanted to teach myself some CAD and utilize my printer, so I decided to make an antenna delete plate, or my own version of. Anyway, I'm going to get you guys spun around. I'm going to show you the two different versions that I've created, and I'll also show you the hardware that lies underneath your stock antenna, so you get an idea of what you're looking at if you were to go down the road of getting one of these. Okay, so here's what you got underneath your antenna, okay? So there's this plastic deal, drops on, you got the whole mechanism that your antenna ultimately screws into, and then your antenna wire comes into, that drops on here, okay? There's 4, well, metal screws, but anyway, they screw down to your fender, and then you drop this little beauty plate on top. Now, as you can see, you know, you got plastic meets, this must be some type of tin or whatever, plastic meets tin, and yeah, it's kind of bulky, it's whatever. Now, underneath all this, you're left with these 4 holes that, truthfully, I've never seen a fender that has never had an antenna bolted down to it, so I'm not sure if these holes are raised up like that. They must start out flat and they're just drilled from the factory. But anyway, once your antenna's been bolted down, you get this raised edge, because Ford probably torques these things down to God knows what type of foot-pounds, and you got this lifted edge or whatever. So anyway, onto my delete plate. So now I've designed it such that it's very low profile. as low profile as it actually possibly can be, or at least that I know of, can be manufactured. And now on the bottom side of it, I've taken into account, just like the stock guy, for the holes that are ultimately gonna that it's gonna fall into. And you can see the side of this is raised from the top of it, I guess, so that you can go over top of these raised holes. Okay, so when you drop this guy on there, it falls into place and sits completely flat with your paint. Now, I don't do anything aggressive to mount this outside of the fact that I put double-sided 3M or Gorilla or whatever you got for tape on here, and you stick it down. So not rocket science by any means. Now, I like the way that these look right off the printer. Now, there is nothing else on this car that quite looks like this, so that's about the only downfall that I can find with it. I mean, if you've ever seen any 3D printed parts, you do get like some slight ribs within it. Now, in order to combat that and to make my delete plates look somewhat like the rest of the trim that's on the car, because this stuff, for any of you that own a car like this, you know that it's not the most refined pieces in the world. I've taken this same piece and I sand them and I prime and paint them. So it's the same part, but it's been sanded, primed, and painted. Now, it ends up with a finish. I use the exact same trim paint that we all use on these parts whenever you go to freshen them up, but it looks just like the rest of the trim on the car. So those are my two versions of the antenna delete plate. You've got your unfinished and you've got your completely finished part. Now, I sell them for different amounts because this guy doesn't seem like it'd take you a long time, but once you get these, they're really difficult to get sanded and get sanded straight, so you don't have like a low side and a high side, whatever. But I sell these for more because I put a heck of a lot more time into them. These, fresh off the printer, I sell for a lot cheaper. Okay folks, so for those of you that were curious about those, I hope that clears things up. I do sell these parts. If you like, reach out. I can get you my email and we can go through the process. I can get one down to you. I've sold like quite a few of them. I don't know, I'm gonna guess here. I haven't kept exact counts, but I'm probably somewhere around 100 of them. So there's a lot of them, or a decent amount of them, floating around out there. And I've yet to have any sort of complaint with them. People seem very, very happy with the quality and how it cleans up their antenna hole. So yeah, because as we all know, I mean, most of these things, they've had the antenna ripped off, or you got some goofy little lightning bolt one on there that you want to get rid of. And like I said, not too many people do listen to the actual terrestrial radio anymore. So this is a nice way to clean it up. If you want one, please hit me up and we'll get you looked after. So stand by. I keep saying this, but yeah, I'm super excited. The new Fox is coming. I'm going to be throwing some videos at you here, like a handful of them, probably 2 or 3 at least, as we get this car back into the garage. So stay tuned for that. And as always, guys, thanks for your support. I love it, and I'm so happy to be a part of this with you guys, and love chatting with you every week. So thanks, guys. Look forward to chatting with you here real soon with a new Fox, and we'll see you then. Thanks a lot, guys. Take care. Bye for now.